So, I read another book recently. It was called Sisters Red. It was pretty good. I don't know, I have mixed feelings about it. Let me just open to the page. Yeah, okay, so it's called Sisters Red by Jackson Pierce. And, I have some mixed feelings about it. Just because of some of the themes in it and like the relationship dynamics. It felt a little, I don't know. But basically, the one thing I liked about it was kind of like a supernatural vibe. If you've seen the show Supernatural, a little bit of a monster hunting sort of thing. It's like Little Red Riding Hood, except there's two sisters and they hunt werewolves, but they call them Fenris. So I liked it for that aspect, the fantasy, monster hunting stuff. Something felt a little shady about it to me though, just the fact that all the werewolves are men and they specifically hunt young girls. That gives me the creeps a little bit. That felt unnecessary. It didn't have to be like that. I think it would have been better if it was just all kinds of werewolves and that anyone was fair game, as opposed to it being specifically pretty young girls. That just felt a little weird to me. And but yeah, it was alright besides that, just a monster hunting story. There's three characters mainly in the story. So there's the sisters, the elder one, Scarlet, and the younger, Rosie, which is kind of, they have like red themed names. And then there's their friend Silas. He's like the huntsman, I guess. But yeah, so I'll just get into the questions. I think how many are in here? Okay, yeah, I found 7 questions. Or 6. And so the first one says, what was your favorite character and why? I put Rosie because I think she's more balanced than Scarlet. She has more of an open understanding of how there's more than one way to live your life. You don't have to only be this or only be that. The world's not black and white. She has a nice balance of like soft characteristics and strong characteristics that just because you're gentle or you're kind or sensitive emotionally, that doesn't mean you're not strong. You know what I mean? And she has that understanding, whereas Scarlet is really, I don't know, it's that annoying, like, not like other girls stereotype of like basically being a caricature of toxic masculinity, but in a woman, and then making it seem like that's what strength is, but it's not. There's more than one way to be strong. And so I wasn't sure about her character, about Scarlet, but Rosie is more balanced and she's a little more kind and accepting of other people who live differently from her and who have different interests from her, whereas Scarlet is a little bit more mean, I guess. She's really condescending to anyone who doesn't see life exactly the way she does. Which is the second question, who's your least favorite character and why? I put Scarlet. I put a ton of answers there why I don't like her. She's really controlling and frankly like emotionally abusive to her sister, and like codependent. She's really possessive, like she feels like her sister belongs to her and you owe me because I saved your life, and so you have to do everything the way I see it because you owe me, kind of a thing, which is really toxic. But that she was volatile because like she would get angry and then feel entitled to do whatever she wants or say whatever she wants, and then because like she feels she's ultimately right about everything, and that however she treated people in the middle of her anger is justifiable. So she could hurt whoever she wants because she feels she's right about everything. So I thought that was a little mean and always projecting onto others from her own insecurities. So like assuming that she can't have love in her life because she's ugly, because Scarlet got attacked by a werewolf and she's missing an eye and she has like scars on her face, and so she feels like no one will ever love her. And when she sees Rosie wanting to be in a relationship, she gets angry at her, and basically it's because she's jealous that she could have love but she feels she herself can't, which is kind of a cruel reason to keep someone from a happy life. And just she's always projecting on everybody, and it's just really annoying. I mean, it's young adult fiction. I mean, I didn't realize it was young adult until I got into it and realized all the characters are teenagers, and like, oh god. I think it's just because I'm not a teenager anymore. So you start to realize how like angsty and kind of obtuse people can be. Like not considering other people's experiences. You think like your bubble is the whole world. Your experiences and your perspectives, your feelings, that's the whole world. And if everyone doesn't accommodate to that little bubble in your head and your ego, then they're just selfish, which is kind of narcissistic in a way. So yeah, and then what else did I put? Yet never apologizes for hurting the people she claims to love. Yeah, I wish she would have apologized for once. She always feels she's entitled to say whatever she wants and do whatever she wants. And no matter what the damage is, it's like, well, I was justified, so I don't have to apologize. And thinking that just time passing is the same as an apology, which it's not. Yeah, and then, oh, I already said that, like, not a deep thinker, like, considering the lives of other people, not just her own bubble of experiences. But she claims to be. It's like those guys who think that they're better than you because they're logical, but they're really just deeply disconnected to their own emotions. And they think using, like, ridiculous vocabulary from, like, the Revolutionary War era, like founding fathers type English, is going to make them superior. And she's like really into philosophy, and there's that, they go back to that one story about the people in the cave, that story from philosophy, like that there was people in a cave, one person went out into the light, and it hurt at first, but then they realized that there's more to the world than just the cave and the shadows in the cave. And then other people in the cave tried to go out, but they were stopped because it hurts. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back in the cave. And so she feels like she's superior to all the other girls in the world. And like, I'm not like the other girls. She calls them dragonflies, which is really like dehumanizing in a way. She thinks that all the other girls in the world who are pretty and don't know about werewolves are ignorant and somehow inferior to her. And like she's the hero because I know more than you and I'm fighting what you're not fighting, so I'm better than you. And you don't care as much as me and you're not as smart as me, which is really a horrible way to be thinking. This book was written by a man. The author was a man, and you can tell. And she's like, I go on and on, like how she's codependent and like really insensitive. She doesn't know how to see her own value outside of killing werewolves. And then when Rosie sees value in her life, like she has hobbies and she wants to date and she wants to bake and create things and also hunt werewolves, like there's more to her life than just hunting werewolves. Scarlet gets angry at her, like, you must not care as much as me because you have hobbies. Like, God forbid a girl has a hobby. Like, Jesus, she's so mean to her own sister. And I feel bad for Rosie. That's why I put she's my favorite character, because I think she deserved better in this story. Gotta stop. this is why I don't like the story so much. I like the monster hunting aspect, but the relationship parts were just really, ugh. Okay, what themes are most emphasized in the novel? Okay, so I put sisterhood and I put balance in life, because in the end they have to come to terms with the fact that your life doesn't have to only be this or only that. It's not black and white. Sometimes there's a little bit of both in your life, and that's okay. It's not like you don't care as much about your family just because you also have, other people in your life, or it's not that you don't care about your job just because you have other aspects of your life that you also enjoy. You could have more than one thing in your life. Yeah. And then question 4, if you could ask the author one question, what would it be? Okay. Why are all the werewolves men who specifically prey on young, pretty girls? Why? Why is that? Give answer. Okay. And could the novel be improved? What are your suggestions? It would be nice if Scarlett could be accountable for how emotionally abusive she was to her sister, and if she could show her own emotional growth, because I feel like Rosie got some independence and Scarlett just minded her business. Which, I mean, yeah, I feel like both of them deserve better, that you could have more in your life than just one thing, and everyone needs to grow a little bit. And I feel like Scarlett didn't grow as much as Rosie, because she got to spread her wings and go out into life and do things she wanted to do. And it never says that Scarlett actually accepted it. She was still angry at her sister. Like, how dare you abandon me for dating somebody else? You're abandoning me if you get in a relationship, or you're abandoning all the girls who need help being saved from werewolves. If she takes a 30-minute break to go to a class, she gets angry because, oh, do you know how many people died because you took an origami class? And it's like, really? 30 minutes? You can't take 30 minutes to enjoy anything? I feel like the Scarlett didn't grow as much as Rosie, but the reason Rosie grew was because she understood that there was more to life than just one thing. But I don't think Scarlett fully grasped that, and she just kind of accepts it quietly, but you get the feeling that she's still angry with her for having love in her life and having hobbies, which is really horrible. How does the book's title tie into the manuscript? It's inspired by Little Red Riding Hood, so hence red, and it's about two sisters, so sisters red. I rated the book on a scale of 1 to 10. I don't even know, because I like the premise of like hunting werewolves and like two girls doing like all the hunting. They're like the huntsmen in a way. It's a really cool idea, but it's just the relationship was so toxic that it's hard to actually like this book. Yeah, I don't know. I put a 5. Yeah, I wish I would have liked it more. I really thought I was gonna really love this book, but it was just so, Okay, the last thing is a fan cast. So there was a couple other characters like Grandma March, which was Scarlett and Rosie's grandma, and Silas's father, which I forgot what his name was, but mainly it's Scarlett, Rosie, and Silas, who's their friend who also hunts werewolves. And so I just did a fan cast for those 3. And so for Scarlett, I put Jeanette McCurdy. For Rosie, I put Catherine McNamara. I think that's how you say it. And Silas, I put Alexander Calvert, because, he's from Supernatural. And also Catherine McNamara was in Shadowhunters. So those are like monster hunting shows, and it would kind of work. I do wish that the relationship would have been more healthy between Scarlett and Rosie, but that's the way it is, I guess. So yeah, that's about it. That was Sisters Red. I'll put a link to where you could get the book if you want to. I'll put it in the description box and in the community post. Yeah, I'll put links in there for like thrift books and bookshop. Yeah, that's about it. It was okay. I kind of wish it would be a movie. It's one of those books that like it's okay, but if you changed a little bit of it, it might be better. And that's what they do in movies anyways. They change some of the details. So yeah, it would be interesting if it wasn't so toxic to women. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be better. Can I be honest? I don't really recommend it. But I mean, you could come to your own conclusions. I borrowed it from the library, so maybe you could do that as well. So yeah, that was Sisters Red. Yeah, so hope that helped you fall asleep a little bit. And yeah, thank you for watching my video.